Welcome to the maiden edition of Let's Talk Protocol, a YouTube weekly series where we share insights on protocol, executive protection, organizational development, and of course, where we bring you to a place where you get the best of information regarding protocol, international business protocol, ethics, and every other thing you need to know. My name is Minabai Seibofa, and I am the Chief of Protocol, Shieldfield Protocol Consultants, Nigeria Limited. We provide services in protocol, etiquette, organization development, capacity development, and every other thing that you can think of to make your protocol journey a great one. As we prepare to go further, it's important that if you're joining this podcast for the first time, do well to subscribe and, of course, turn on the notification button to be the first to know when new episode drops. You can follow us on our social media platforms, and those are displayed on the screen. Now, let's go straight to what we have on today's episode. We will go into the very foundation of the discourse of the series. We're talking about Leicester Protocol. So, the definition and explanation will set the pace and set the ball rolling for our discourse to go. I encourage you to invite your friends, to invite your colleagues, to invite professionals, HR professionals, executive protection professionals, protocol professionals, administrators, and every other person who is willing to learn about it. Okay, so we go to the foundation. What is protocol? Protocol is the art of ensuring that official and unofficial occasions, visits, meetings, functions are planned and conducted in accordance a set of rules that are formally, socially, and culturally accepted and expected by the parties involved. That is to say, whatever thing, whatever rule that is being set concerning that visit, occasions, whether official or unofficial, they should be culturally, socially expected and accepted by parties involved in that particular occasion or event. So it is the art of ensuring that these official visits, unofficial visits, meetings, and any other thing you can think of, they are planned and conducted. So there's planning, there is organizing, and all of these things to make sure that everything works according to plan. We can also say that protocol is the proper procedure of systems of rules used in conducting affairs of government and diplomatic occasions. All right, let's take a look at this other explanation coming from the business perspective. So it says protocol is about creating an enabling environment for people of different cultural backgrounds to allow for important business to take place without unintended misunderstandings due to cultural differences. Would I say no thanks and thanks to globalization that has made transactions borderless, that has made businesses borderless? If you can stay in the remotest part of Southeast Asia, in China, Japan, Singapore, Malaysia, and any other part of the world, and conduct business with people all over the globe, in as much as you have internet supply. That is the power of globalization. All nations have technically become one because we can stay from one part of the world to conduct business. This YouTube series has been shot in Nigeria, and you watching from different parts of the world. That is what we're talking about. So we're saying that it's creating an enabling environment for people from different cultural backgrounds, to allow for business to take place without unintended misunderstandings due to cultural difference. I can tell you, the world is full of so many cultures, so many faiths, so many religions, and all the rest of them. Now, if you are conducting businesses with people that are not from the same climate with you, how are you able to navigate through these cultural nuances that you're not familiar with? This is where the protocol officer comes in, and that is why we say that it's about creating an enabling environment. So if I myself from Nigeria is doing a business with somebody from Ukraine, somebody from Russia, somebody from Kazakhstan, somebody from Saudi Arabia, or from China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, or any of these places that are not particularly the same culture with me. How am I able to do business successfully with these persons without them or me or both parties feeling insulted, dishonored, and disrespected? This is where protocol comes in. It creates a bridge. It serves as a bridge between people and organizations, and it creates lasting, strong relationships. All right. So, in the business world, it's about creating an enabling environment for people of different cultural backgrounds. Okay, so that at the end of the day, nobody will feel disrespected because we didn't understand our cultures. And one thing I like about this explanation is it's unintended. So sometimes you may not intend to do something unknowingly. Innocent you, we would say over here. You make some gestures, some remarks that to you they may be compliments or trying to say something good about the person, but because the person is not from your client, the person may not understand that. And that particular thing or action you took or that gesture you took may be disrespectful to that person from the other client. So these are some of the unintended cultural misunderstandings that the protocol or that protocol clears. So protocol is a bridge builder, serves as a bridge between countries, between individuals, between businesses, between corporations, especially when they don't have the same ideas coming from different countries. Okay, we can also say that protocol is a set of rules prescribing good manners in official life and in ceremonies. And of course, these ceremonies could involve government representatives, government officials, it could involve religious leaders, it could involve any other person. The focal point here is set of rules describing good manners, good manners, good manners. Every environment comes with its own regulations or rules or expected norms. So if you go to a business meeting, it is expected that you dress accordingly to the business meeting, except otherwise stated. So if you go to a church service, you should dress like someone going to a church service. If you go to a club, you should dress like people going to club. Now, if you go to there's this popular saying that when you go to Rome, you behave like people in Rome because it is expected that in Rome this is how things are done. All right. So every occasion, every environment, every setting comes with its own expected norms, with its own expected rules that prescribes what is good. Okay, so if you go to Saudi Arabia, there is an expected pattern of behavior that we say is good manners, but they say is good manners. So when you go there, or before you go there, you should be able to know what is expected. How do you greet a man in Saudi Arabia? Do you greet women shaking their hands? Do you greet women hugging them? So it's different for different clients. So we're saying a set of rules prescribing good manners. That's the protocol of these people. That's the protocol when you come to an organization, and this is the protocol. So what it does is to help things run smoothly, is to help businesses run smoothly. And what the protocol does is to make sure that anybody visiting that country or that organization should know this is the expected behavior. These are the expected manners that you should put up. So That is what protocol is all about. Someone will ask, who needs protocol? I will say everybody. Now, it is not just restricted to government officials. It's not just restricted to government setting, but even in your homes. The father sets the principles of the house. This is what should happen. Hey, kids, you go to bed by 7 p.m. You feel, all of those things. There is time for everything. That is a protocol. You want to put on this, you want to put on this particular, there is something, everything goes, everything, the kind of songs you play in parties, the kind of songs you sing in church, the kind of, the things you discuss in business meetings. So we're saying that it is a set of rules prescribing good manners in official life and in ceremonies involving governments and nations and their representatives. Like I said, it is everywhere. Protocol is not just in the government, it's in the military, it's in the medical field, it's in the scientific field, it's everywhere. There are protocols concerning good manners and expected norms of behavior. We spent so much time here on what is protocol, but it was really needed for us to grasp what we mean when we say protocol. Sorry, we said it is the art of ensuring that official and unofficial occasions, visits, meetings, and functions are planned and conducted in accordance with set of rules. So there's always a guideline that certain things should follow. Who gives the speech first? Who sits where? Who talks when? Who comes in first? Who goes out last? All of these are set of rules, and we say that this set of rules should be culturally, socially accepted by the parties involved in that meeting, event, or occasion, as the case may be. All right, these are what that some descriptions that gives us an understanding of what protocol is. But in the implementation of these protocols, people are responsible for it. So who are these people? And these are the protocol officer. So you will want to ask, who is a protocol officer? All right, who is a protocol officer? So we say a protocol officer is the person in an organization that is responsible for organizing, coordinating, laying down plans for VIP visits, ceremonies, meetings, and special events. One thing is certain, the goal of all of these orchestrations, this planning and visits is to ensure that at the end of the day, there is diplomacy between the principal and the invited guest. When you invite a guest, you are the principal. All right. So when you invite a guest, it is expected that you treat the guest in with courtesy, honor, respect, reverence, because at the end of the day, the way you treat someone will automatically tell who the kind of person you are. It will automatically tell the kind of person you are. Of course, we all want to be treated very well. We all want to be treated very well. And you know what something about treatment. Now, what the way you treat me is going to give me a lasting impression more than the things you say. So I look at you as someone who respects me the way you treat me more than the things you say. So when as protocol officers, I used to say and I normally say this that we are in the industry of impression. In fact, it will shock you to know that in protocol there is no second impression. First impressions are always the first and last impression. If you don't show me the best of the best impression when I land immediately at the airport or at the train station from anywhere is where you pick me up, and I get a shabby treatment, that impression has been created. And I take that impression with me. So the way you treat me has already given you out, irrespective of what you say. So I take how you treat me as much as how you respect me. Because if you respect and honor me, you will treat me right. Not just the things you say, action they say speaks louder than words. So once I'm not able to do this, then I have failed in my responsibility as a host or as the principal. Now, what the protocol officer helps to do is to make sure that in the planning and orchestrating of all of these visits, there is diplomacy. Diplomacy is key, and that's why protocol and diplomacy cannot be taken. They are inseparable. At the end of the day, there's diplomacy between the principal and the invited guest. There is an expectation from the invited guest and the principal and the protocol officer, who is always and sometimes, if not always, the first person to get the interaction. That is where the impression comes. So once a protocol does not show the very best of impressions on the invited guest or to the invited guest, you know that the invited guest's mindset may slightly shift, taking his attention away from the essence of the visit. Alright, so what they do is the protocol officer, as the person who plans and orchestrates VIP visits, ceremonies, and meetings, and special events, the goal at the end of the day is that there is diplomacy between the principal and the invited guest. It's very important, and that is why when protocol goes wrong, the rest is story. All right. Of course, Pamela Iron of the Protocol School of Washington says that protocol officers are people who are educated and experienced in precedents, titles, and forms of address, flag etiquette, international protocol, and so much more. And of course, all of these things, all of these experiences, all of this knowledge, all of these skills they possess influence the strategic objectives of the meeting, of course, that produces very excellent customer relations. Absolutely amazing, wonderful. Because if these things are not put in place, then the essence of the visit will be defeated. All right. The protocol officer is someone who pays close attention to details such as seating strategies and arrangements and how to properly address VIPs. Of course, we will talk about that in our subsequent series when we talk about other titles, understanding titles, other precedents, seating strategies, and all the rest of them. Of course, this is to ensure that all guests are treated with courtesy and respect. Courtesy, honor, and respect. You get what I'm saying, right? So the protocol officer pays close attention to these details. Now, city strategies, we will take an extensive look at that also on one of the episodes, right? So you begin to ask yourself, why should a president sit next to a president? Why should? Let me give you the example of. Let me give you this example. So, with the current, war in Ukraine, war in Ukraine, let me give you the example of between Zelensky and Vladimir Putin. All right? Can you just imagine that you there's a meeting of world leaders and the two of them are invited and you put them next to each other? Do you think that is the right sitting arrangement? Do you think that's the right sitting strategy? All right? That is not the right sitting strategy. Are they going for a peace meeting? If it's not a peace meeting, even if it's a peace meeting, are they going to sit together? They're going to sit face to face, because like there is strong animosity brewing between these two nations and these two presidents. I don't think they want to sit next to each other If they want to sit, they will sit very far away from each other, even at peace table. Of course, peace talks have been going on, and these two presidents have not even been to the peace talks. They've sent their representatives. All right, that's to show you how it is. So at that point, we really want to see both of them. That's what we're talking about sitting strategies. Of course, we'll talk deep into that. All right, talk about flag etiquette. Which flag do you place to who? Can you imagine putting a Nigerian flag for somebody coming from Estonia, or putting an Estonian flag for a representative of Spain or any other country when you mix up this flag? So these are the things protocol officers look at. Okay, so this is what protocol is and who a protocol officer is. Right, you can ask your questions in the comment section before the next session comes up. I'll be able to answer some of your questions. Basically, the protocol officer is one who orchestrates VIP meetings, visits, and special ceremonies that make sure that at the end of the day, diplomacy is achieved between the invited guest and the principal. And that is how we end today's episode on Let's Talk Protocol. We took a look at what is protocol and who is a protocol officer. My name is Minabai Seibofa. Now, do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Click on the notification bell so that you can get notified when new episode drops. We are on a mission here to bring to limelight the knowledge of protocol and to say protocol really matters. Follow me on my social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Minabai Seibofa is the name. You can follow Shieldfield Protocol on Facebook. Of course, you like our page on Facebook as Shieldfield Pro. You like, you follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Shieldfield Pro. The details are on the screen. Until then, keep learning to make impact as a global citizen. Bye bye.